Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Journeyman Distillery. This is their popcorn bourbon whiskey, coming in at a 57.9% ABV, at least 4 years old. So, here in 2023, Journeyman Distillery, based out of Three Oaks, Michigan, opened up an Indiana location, more specifically in Valparaiso, Indiana. And I got to visit the day after their grand opening. It was so crazy busy, nutty in there, but such a beautiful location. I just cannot wait to go back and visit and really kind of sit down and take it all in because it's just so cool. So, what is a popcorn bourbon? Well, glad you asked, because they're actually using 52% popcorn corn, 33% barley, and 15% rye. So even if you say that, you take out the word popcorn, you say it's corn, it's a very unique mash bill. But using popcorn grade corn is really awesome to see. And the reason they're doing that is to commemorate Orville Redenbacher, who grew up here in Indiana. So it's kind of a nice homage to him and really doing something different, which Journeyman does a lot of different whiskeys out there. And I really do enjoy what they do. I've had several of their bottles and they've yet to disappoint. But let's go ahead and jump on to things here. All right. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit. What are you doing? Help grow the channel. Helps me, helps you. It's free content. Bullying people, look at me go. I've reached that arc in my journey in whiskey that I'm bullying people. But if you're interested in anything else coming out from Journeyman, links to some other reviews I've done will be up above and down below. And again, I've just been a true lover of their craft. That is gorgeously dark. It is cask strength. It is not single barrel, but it is cask strength. Gorgeous, dark color on that. Dark amber, yeah. All right, let's go for notes. Oh, this is so beautifully done. And I've recorded this review a couple times because I just can't wrap my brain around how beautiful this whiskey is. It's sweet, and you definitely get the corn forward note in here, but it is unlike any other corn you've ever smelled. It's waxy, but yet it's got such a depth to it. You get that little bit of rye spice going on, just the hair of it. But I love the waxiness of the barley. That barley, almost single malt note coming out. And that's probably why I love it. I love American single malt. The oak layers are deep and heavy and rich. Vanilla and caramel are subtly sweet in here. You definitely get that wood sugars going on from the barrel. The corn, though, it's surreal. It's surreal on how perfect this nose is for a bourbon, especially going with that unique mash bill, because it is subtly sweet, yet defined notes going on. I love that light rye spice going on in that bit of waxiness and single malt notes from that barley. And all the grains in here are USDA organic. It's kosher as well, which is a whole different process. I more recently learned about that for calling it whiskey kosher. It's nuts. But that is no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Perfection done on the nose here. So let's go for a taste. Coats the palate to a T. The sweet corn layers are going on. They're deep, impactful. The spice layers. You get a little bit of an herbalness from that rye, but no dill, no medicinal. Beautiful spice in there from it too. And then this barley note in there, bringing across that single malt vibe, giving you this waxiness, yet sweet grain notes of barley. It's a little oily, but words do not describe this, and this is what I kept running into, because what I'm talking about just sounds like you're like, oh, it sounds like a good whiskey. This, and I'm going to put a pin in it, is by far the best bourbon I've tasted to this point. It's just so beautifully done for its age and its unique grains. that it spanks everything I have on this shelf. No ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Warming on the palate though. It's cask strength. It's going to be a little warm. But how beautifully sweet those corn notes come across. Almost butteriness. You then get the deep, heavy oak. Almost like if they've chiseled out grooves in that oak to really add that extra impact to it. It's a little waxy from the barley, little sweet grains from the barley as well. And that spice characteristic lingers so well from that rye. There's not a fault to this sip. Legitimately, does not have a fault. This is the most perfect thing I've ever tasted, in my opinion. Maybe a little green grassy going on here from that light rye spice, but the buttery sweet corn layers, again, it reminds you of popcorn. And maybe it's projected that I'm getting butter, but it's just a buttery smooth note going on here. It does have a bit of that craft note. And what I call the craft note is well-aged antique furniture that's well shellacked, that's been kept it's pristine for 100+ years. It has no faults. Again, I've never tasted anything like it. It's just to a T amazing. And when I originally opened this up, I was like, oh, I'm expecting to be pretty good. You know, it's coming in at a higher dollar asking point, so I've got my reserves a bit on it. No, not a bit. No reserves whatsoever. Even though I've taken my sip several minutes ago, it feels like the linger on the palate of the oak spice sweet layers on top of that rye spice. I can't argue. I cannot argue with this at all. How easy that drinks for that proof. I can't fault it at all. On top of all that, it has this just a beautiful sipping point to it. It is to a T exactly perfection. All right, enough of me gushing about this bottle. Let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So again, there's only 3,000 bottles of this, and that kind of makes me sad because I want the world to enjoy this bottle. It was $160 on site at the distillery, and to be honest, anytime a bottle goes over $100, I always put a big asterisk. If you can not break the bank and break your wallet purchasing something like this, it's worth every penny. Straight up, every penny. It's worth the $160 asking point. You know, if you get the opportunity to taste it, should you? Heck yes. I cannot fault it. I keep singing its praises because I have yet to. I did my original review on this like a week ago, and I put it aside to say maybe I'm just misreading it. It could not be that perfect. And I came back a week later, and it's still just as perfect. I can't explain it. I don't know what Journeyman has done to create this perfection in a bottle, but they need to keep doing it. It's worth that price point, in my opinion. I would pay it again. I might go pick up a second bottle at this point because I don't want this to ever go away or ever end. It's just great. I really hope you as a viewer can enjoy this at some point in your life because it's life-changing to me. As silly as that sounds for a bourbon to be life-changing, it's phenomenal. Good job, Journeyman. Keep up the great work. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Journeyman Distillery Popcorn Bourbon Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I even like it might not.